Hello and welcome to part 59. After checking briefly since yesterday, it seems like this is basically the end of the fragments chapter, so I probably should have just ran down here last time, but too late for that now. It seems like once I get to my assumption is once I get to the highway, there's going to be a cutscene. Once I get close to the highway, there's going to be a cutscene, and then that's that. I've got to break their line of sight somehow. Target confirmed. It's Lloyd Bannings. Execute pincer formation. Damn, no way around it. The fact they're using whistles is pretty funny. Their uniforms may be different, but they're just as unshakable as ever. I mean, but that's... the CGF weren't that competent. Oh yeah. There we go. Come on, Lloyd Bannings, you can do this. Shh. Fugitive spotted. Capture him. Gotta love 100% evasion. My best bet of sneaking into Crossbow City is going to be from the freight line. Come hell or high water, I have to make it out of here in one piece, no matter what it takes. Garbage. They wouldn't have been able to kill me. I have 100% evasion, and all they have are guns. Pant, g. Huh. A commendable effort. I mean, inaccurate. Who would have thought a simple detective could hold out so long against the born-again defense force? That implies they've been drugged. Isn't he a former teammate of 2nd Lieutenant Seekers? Maybe we shouldn't be so surprised. Enough talk. Disarm him, now. Remember, our orders are to take him alive. I don't think so. Damn. He can still move? Help me understand. Why bother going this far? Can you not stomach your precious crossbow changing so much? Wake up. No matter how much you struggle, you'll never make a difference all on your own. That's not true. The only thing stopping us from making a difference is refusing to stand up and try. I refuse to be swept away by this. I refuse to just close my eyes and let the truth pass me by. Yes, the truth. People are aware of the truth, they just opt to not act on it. It's not really passing him by. The people I care about need me, and I swear I'll take them back. So understand this. I will never give up. It's so cheesy. No matter how many times you knock me down, I won't surrender. You can break my legs, but I'll always get back on my feet. Not if you break them enough, then you physically could not get back on your feet, but... what's with this guy? What a shame. Charge him on my command, men. Let's see him get up after this. Roger. Aim for the legs. Don't back down, Lloyd. Not until the bitter end. Kia, Elitio, Randy, Wazi, Chief Sergei. Please give me your strength. It's so lame. I'm disappointed in you. You seem to have forgotten to include someone in your prayer. Wait. Okay. Ha. Noel's not on the list. I've forgotten something in your prayer. Huh? What was that? Oh, it's Zeit. Wait, can Zeit speak English? It sounds like it's coming from inside my head. Zeit can telepathically communicate in English. He just couldn't be bothered. Beep! Oh, what the? Oh, it's Mecha Zeit, but he's not a mech. He just looks like a mech because of the art style. His feet are way too small. Huh? Okay, no, but I mean, I have to. I have to. It's just so funny looking. I have to take a screenshot of that. That's so funny. Huh? What? Leave now, soldiers of this false paradise. This man falls under my charge. Wah, eek. You're gonna shoot him, really? Confounded beast! The Crossbow Defense Force will never surrender itself to a mere cryptid. Ooh. I really hope he actually ate him and didn't just bite him and spit him out. Eee! What? Yeah, he just spat him out. No hat, though. No gun. Well, must I repeat myself? No, that's quite alright. Retreat! Save me, Eidos. Ha. It would seem I gave them a great deal more shock than I had intended. It has been ages since I've assumed this form, after all. Perhaps I may have forgotten just how to restrain myself. There are so many things I could say about this right now, but I'll keep it short and ask just one question. Don't ask who are you. Don't you dare. And that would be? What the hell, Zeit? How is your timing always this good? It's lame, but I enjoy the joke. I enjoy the attempt at levity. Ooh. Why'd we need a car? Come on. A holy beast sent by Eidos? You? That's totally not something we already knew before we even met him. Well, that is not entirely correct. It would be simpler if you think of me in such terms. You already know of the Septarians, bestowed upon mankind by the grace of the goddess in times past. We holy beasts are tasked with keeping vigil over those treasures, as well as their keepers. When you say we, does that include the dragon that appeared during the Liberal incident? An excellent deduction. That dragon is known as Ragnar. He is indeed one of my brethren. He remained in the land now known as Liberal for centuries to observe the Septarian of space. However, even I am unaware of his current location, now that his oath has been fulfilled. This is all a little tough to follow, is it? But would that mean you've been here in Crossbow since the distant past yourself? That is correct. I have dwelled in this land since before the Great Collapse over 1,200 years ago. As for the reason the Septarian of Mirage vanished from its domain, as well as the actions man took in their misguided attempt to revive it, both are knowledge that I hold, to a certain extent. Those are things the others and I never had the means to unearth on our own. The Septarian of Mirage, gifted by the goddess and inherited by the Qua family. I really hope he reveals right now, nah, it wasn't gifted to the Qua family, it was gifted to some other family and they're just claiming it as their own. That would be way better. Inherited by the Qua family? Why did it disappear? And why does Kia, of all people, bear the burden of trying to replace it? Please, Zeit, I have to know the truth. Not just about what happened 1,200 years ago, but how it relates to what Kia went through 700 years later. Very well. I presented myself in this form with every intention of telling you. The Septarian that Eidos bestowed upon this land, its name was Demiurgus, the treasure that governed the power of Mirage. Mirage is the element that controls perception and cognition. So, too, does it hold domain over causality. A portion of this land's people had a goal for its power, and at the center of their shared aspirations was the Kwa family. Lame. I really wish they were trying to usurp it. That goal was to unseat Eidos as a supreme deity, in lieu of a god that could walk amongst mankind. A god that could guide its people through empathy and infinite wisdom. A god that could change the very fabric of fate itself. On the surface, its power resembles that of the Oriole, which could grant man's desires without end. However, Demiurgos was bestowed with a high-minded dignity, and so was not subject to the same faults as the Shining Ring. Within it was the wisdom and judgment to guide humanity, without corrupting it in the process. In wielding this power, Demiurgos was thus capable of shepherding mankind onto its proper path. And it would have done so, had its own heart not reached its limit. The world is an irrational place, and the people who live upon it are comprised of their numerous natures and deeds. To understand them and steer their course, the Septarian required a sense of empathy, just as humans have. With time, that empathy deteriorated Demiurgos' heart, giving way to an enervating anguish. It feared that if things continued, it would come to harm those it sought to protect. Thus, with a heavy heart, it steeled its resolve and made its decision. And so, by unthreading the nexus of its own causality, the Septarian of Mirage disappeared from this world. So that's what happened. But what about the people left behind? What did they do? In the wake of the Septarian's departure, they were left bewildered, sorrowed, and frightened. But instead of reflecting upon the motivations behind Demiurgos' choice, they strayed from the path it had sought to lead them onto. Thereafter, those zealots became obsessed with creating an entity commensurate to the Septarian they had lost. In the beginning, they were clueless, merely stumbling through the darkness. But after 700 years, they had gathered enough knowledge to not only develop, but master their own unique practice. Alchemy, a magical art capable of giving form to the formless. It was then that a grand plan was formulated. They founded the cult as a pawn to play from the shadows, then entrusted them with rearing the future core of the new Septarian. The land of Crossbell would then need to be primed for their grand ceremony, the pinnacle of alchemical transmutation. These were the measures outlined by the alchemists of the Kwa family several hundred years ago. It's too long of a time for a single family to actually be a single family. To ensure their plan was financially feasible, the Kwa family adopted a public image as prestigious bankers. Meanwhile, the cult began the steps to eventually awaken the core that had become the object of their worship. Because it's the even most royal families are not they are sort of a single family. They're all descended from the same people, maybe they aren't actually, but whatever. But there's so much intermingling that it's just odd. And 700 years is such a long time. Especially, it's just so long. And, I mean, really, it's 1,200 years total, but... Meanwhile, the cult began the steps to eventually awaken the core that had become the object of their worship. Now, 500 years later, we have arrived at our current predicament. It's just too long form of a plan. Like, it's all so unbelievable. But I feel like I can finally grasp the big picture. Zeit. Maribel called Kia the Septarian of Zero. They can't name it themselves. Like, they can name it themselves, they can refer to it how they want. It doesn't make it what they want. What did she mean by that? Does that make her different from the Septarian of Mirage? Unfortunately, I do not have the answer you seek. It could be that the Qua family made an unexpected discovery as their 1,200-year delusion began to materialize. If that was the case, they may not have created an entity to equal Demiurgos. That is to say, the Septarian of Zero may very well surpass the might of the original. How are they going to justify humans? Like, I guess technically it could be that the humans made something stronger than what the goddess gave because the goddess could have made something stronger, but she chose not to. It's like conceptually a goddess who can create these things easily would be able to make stuff stronger, but if they made it weak intentionally, that's reasonable-ish. Wrong button. The Aeon of White is one such example. The power it demonstrated was not that of its own, but rather of a Septarian. However, the Septarian of Mirage did not possess the ability to manipulate reality so instantaneously. That faculty is more akin to a different higher element, faith. Assuming there is even more to their artificial Septarian than we currently know, I cannot begin to fathom what it may be capable of. Mirage, time, and space. There are 3 of those, so presumably. I was afraid you'd say that. There's one more thing I'd like to ask. Based on what you've told me, Kia, she isn't really human, is she? She is, and yet she is not. Kia is a synthetically created being designed to serve as the core of a manufactured Septarian. She's most likely a homunculus that was created through advanced transmutation. Yeah, I don't care. We don't need this images, like, because it's just gonna be, but we don't care. She's human enough because she acts like a human, that's all that really matters. Kia probably realized the truth herself a long time ago. And yet, never once did she stop smiling for us. Kia. Tangram is on the east. Is this the Calvardian border? Why does he have a little icon in his nose? Oh, it's like it's on the outside, okay. Yes, the Defense Force soldiers should have difficulty finding us here. Do you really think it'll be difficult to find a giant wolf? This will be a good opportunity to rest. Thanks, Zeit. You really saved me back there. Huh? What is that? A barrier of some sorts that appeared around Crossfell City. It would seem that only those that are permitted may freely enter and exit. And those that cannot cannot pass through it at all. What? Oh, those that are not cannot pass through it at all. Be they living creatures or machines. You've got to be kidding. As you saw when you escaped, Pleroma grass has begun to bloom all throughout the state of Crossbell. It would be accurate to think of it as a sign that the land itself has become one with the newly born Septarian. Zeit, just what is Pleroma grass? I've heard that it shares some sort of connection to the Septium veins underground. It was once the proverbial eyes of the former Septarian of Mirage. As it bloomed, Demiurgus could observe and understand the surface world. It is also capable of distorting the surrounding space when spiritually linked to the Septarian. That is the most probable cause of the cryptid's sudden emergence. Such beings should not exist on this plane by nature. I think I understand. Those disgusting rituals the DG cult was conducting. They were all about taking advantage of the pleroma grass's properties to perfect gnosis, right? Yes. Their goal was to accumulate the knowledge and personalities of the victims who fell to the drug's influence. Said corpus of data would subsequently be transferred into the girl slumbering within the cradle of the Sun Fort. The vast amounts of information would then self-organize to nurse forth the high-minded dignity they sought to recreate. Then, after 500 years, the core of the Septarian awoke. That is the extent of my knowledge. The situation in which you find yourself is the will of the cult's puppet masters, meticulously crafted over the course of centuries. On that topic, the choices presented to you now are rather limited. Would you not prefer to flee to foreign soil until the storm has subsided? I understand why you'd ask. My uncle's home is in Calvard, so it's true that I'd have somewhere to lay low if I had to. But no, that's not an option. There's work to be done here. I have answers to find and a case to crack. Do you now? Solving this crisis and uncovering the truth will be more than just a one-man job, too. Okay, it really feels like I know what the next part is, because I was like, oh, what is this? But this is like a semi-chapter before the finale. It's like, I don't watch heist movies, but it's like, oh, I gotta build a crew. And uncovering the truth will be more than just a one-man job. The moment it says one-man job, it's like, oh, it's a multi-man job, needing to build a crew. Ellie, Tio, Randy, and not just them. Everyone. I need all of their strength. You don't need Noelle. Ditch her. So you see, I can't run. I can't hide. I have to go back and face it all. You can run and hide temporarily while collecting your team. Sorry to do this after you brought me all the way here, but I still have a duty to fulfill. Technically, isn't it Zeit's duty to have, like, gotten rid of the cult and Qua so they didn't revive a Septarian? Like, they strayed from the path. I thought it would have been Zeit's job to stop them from straying. What truth are you hoping to ascertain? Isn't it obvious? I don't care about her powers or where she came from. What I want to know is what Kyo wants more than anything else in this world, and I need to hear it straight from her heart. And chances are, I'll never be able to find that out unless I bring her home. She's actually more home than you, so you're not really bringing her home, because bringing her would be... You don't have a home currently because you're kicked out. There's also the matter of what happened to the old Septarian. How can we expect Kia to shoulder the burden Demiurgus couldn't? Kia is like family to me. I could never just sit by and let her suffer that fate. So I'm going to take her back, even if that means kicking the president and Arios off of their pedestals. Haha. Good to see a little stint in the clink hasn't changed Crossbow's Father of the Year. Okay, the moment it says Moto. Honto. From there on, it's very clear that it's Wazi. Huh? Yeah, this is the thing that I already knew, but... Wazi, what are you doing here? Wait, Abbas. And Reese and Kevin, too? Please. I hope Kevin salt steaks. Ooh, who do I want him to salt steak? Qua would be pretty good, but it wouldn't really be appropriate. He's not that competent that he needs to be shot by a steak and turned to salt. I think if the professor from Ouroboros is here, it would be an appropriate person to shoot with a steak and turn to salt. Reese and Kevin too. I'm gonna blow my nose. Reese and Kevin too. Good to see you again, Bannings. Indeed, it's been too long. Hey, have you been hanging these past 4 months? Thanks for remembering me, by the way. Hard to forget the names and faces of the Septian Church's Gralsritter. Wait, Wazi, does that mean you're... Haha. Zero SAV, Disc 1 track... What, SAV? No idea. Wazi Hemisphere. The Sapphire Testament. Why Sapphire? His hair's green. His necklace is red. Sure, his coat's blue, but why is it sapphire? Maybe it's just... He's sapphire, so he has a blue coat? Wazi Hemisphere? The Sapphire Testament. Otherwise known as the 9th Dominion of the Gralsritter of the Septian Church. It's a pleasure to make your reacquaintance. Incidentally, I am a knight of the Gralsritter. I work in the service of Wazi. You've gotta be kidding me. Have you two really been stringing me along all this time? Well, wait a second. When we first met Reese, neither of you said even a word about any of this. Well, obviously. My apologies. I pretended not to know who he was. Why, obviously he's undercover. Father Wazi's undercover mission is regarded with the utmost secrecy. Her arrival here completely fooled that old grump Iralda. He had no idea who the real mole was. I really owe her one for that. Happy to be of service. I mean, yeah, for once Reese standing out like the sore thumb she is worked out. Anyone could have seen through her sister act. I'll bet the Archbishop was beside himself when she walked through the door. I have no idea what you're talking about. And besides, you're hardly in any position to preach to me about how to successfully go undercover, knowing your track record. To be fair, none of them look anything like your average clergy people. I mean, if you weren't so buff, Abbas would fit pretty well, given that he's bald. But he's too muscular. Okay, that's enough catching up for now. You see, the actual reason we're here is because he called us. You mean Zeit? Yes, that is correct. I had a hunch your resolve would remain firm, so I thought it prudent to recruit collaborators on your behalf. Okay, I got distracted. Look at his teeth. He only has these teeth. Those are not teeth. They're all flat. Collaborators on your behalf? Oh. Now that you know I've been infiltrating Crossbell, you can probably fill in the blanks. But the Gralsritter has seen this situation coming for a while now. To a certain degree, at least. Still, there were a lot of gaps to bridge. We didn't know the Claw family was behind the conspiracy, for one, or Kia's true identity. Zeit recently brought us up to speed on the whole story, like I'm sure he did with you. That being said, what we are contending with here is an artificially reconstructed Septarian of Mirage. This situation is far beyond the scope of the Gralsritter's typical duty of artifact retrieval. As such, the circumstances would normally make this out of our jurisdiction. Whose jurisdiction would it be? But on the other hand, we couldn't just ignore the Society's involvement in this little brouhaha. Great word, brouhaha. That's where you come in, Mr. Detective. You're our in for getting our hands dirty. That's about the size of it. I think we'll be allowed to intervene if it's under the guise of collaborating with you. So, Lloyd, what do you say? There's just one thing I need to confirm first. Kia, what does the church plan to do with her? Right for the jugular. That one's a toughie. Yes, but being dishonest will get us nowhere with him. I mean, you could just have Kia live with the divine beast Zeit. I agree. He deserves to know the truth. And that's what we'll give him. The Septarian of Zero is far more dangerous than the Septarian of Space, the Oriole, ever was. That much is for certain, even if we still haven't grasped the full breadth of her powers yet. You've been locked away for weeks. Are you aware of all that's been happening? Are you aware at all of what's been happening around the continent? Not really. All I've heard is that civil war has broken out in the Empire, which is like Cold Steel 2, 3, or 4, I think, would be relevant there. Boy, has it. It all got put on the fast track after that armored division they tried to send across the border got snuffed out. And you know how the Golden Stallion rolls. But every time they tried to push back, they got whooped all over again by those Aeons. Right when things were going to Gehenna in a handbasket over there, the Noble Alliance troops scuttled out and occupied Heimdall. Is it supposed to be Heimdall or Heimdallr? I'm not sure. It was then that the Blood and Iron Chancellor was shot. No one's seen him since. I'm like 99% sure he's not dead. Now that the Empire is ablaze in the flames of civil war, you expect it to be doused anytime soon. Meanwhile, the Republic has been in an economic crisis as a result of Crossbell's actions. On top of that, terrorist activity has been in full swing, to the point where the President has formally declared a state of emergency. When it rains, it pours. You don't even know the half of it. It's not like things are coming up roses in other countries either. Questionable activity is beginning to surface in regions Ereboni and Calvert have traditionally had under their thumbs. All the while, President Kwa has been pressuring heads of state throughout the continent to have them bend a knee to Crossbell, that is. And naturally, he has the power of the Septarian to coerce them with. Exactly. It had the ability to repel the Imperial Army, one of the most powerful military forces in all of Zemuria. And that's just with the 3 archaisms the Society supplied. What do you think would happen if they were mass-produced, souped up by the Septarian of Zero, and deployed continent-wide? Kia would never agree to that. Not when it means harming innocent people. In all technicality, it does not seem that the archaisms are controlled by the Septarian directly. More likely, the Septarian's power has granted them the ability to move autonomously as her guardians. Much like that Ren girl's archaism, Patermater. No way. I'm inclined to agree on that point, Haas. I seriously doubt that little girl is in the driver's seat there. And that makes it all the easier for those Aeons to be abused by just about anyone, with her none the wiser. Whether or not Kia is consciously in control is beside the point. A power like that is still much too dangerous to ignore. Okay, now I know where the church stands. But despite your stake in this, I'd still like to ask for your cooperation. Really? I thought you were going to turn us down for sure. Well, I can just try to turn around and fight you at the end. I'm just being realistic. I know this isn't something I can do by myself. Time isn't on my side either. The longer this drags on, the more Kia will be made to suffer. But let me make one thing perfectly clear. If you lay even one hand on Kia, I'll stop you, even if it means fighting to my dying breath. And I'm not the only one. Ellie, Tio, Randy. They would say the same thing. We'll never let you take her. Call it a fallacy. Why would they call it a fallacy? Maybe call it illogical, that's reasonable. I don't care. We're her family and we won't let you hurt her. Ha, Reese is only a squire and Abbas is a knight. Damn, I knew you were a sharp guy, but I didn't know you had that kind of fire in you. I think I'm starting to get why you like him so much, Wazi. That's a light way to put it. The man's stolen my heart. I'm serious, Wazi. If you... I know. As a dominion of the Gralsritter, I swear on Eidos' name. You will not be excluded from how we choose to deal with her. Your opinions and input will be heard. And felt if it comes to it. I know that's not ideal, but this is the best I can do given our position. Sound good to you? Yeah, it's enough for now. Then we have a deal. Okie doke. Time to get to work. Let's move out, gang. What's that? Ah, that sound. It harkens me back to times past. The heavenly chariot, I take it. It's invisible, but it looks so dumb. It looks so dumb. We've seen those a bunch. Airships? Tactical crafts reserved for use by the Gralsritter. We call them Merkaba. Each is equipped with a number of stealth functions, including, but not limited to, optical camouflage that is still incredibly obvious because it makes sense gameplay-wise to include it. Because if you couldn't see them at all, it would be weird. It would just be like invisible and then boof, it would just look dumb. They'll be just what we need to stay discreet while traveling through Crossbell and airspace. Well, Lloyd, ready to go? Yeah, let's do this. Kia, everyone, wait for me. I'm coming. Ba-ba-da-ba. And that's the end of the fragments. Like, how did this get me detective points? How did breaking out of prison get me detective points? I'm gonna continue for now. Crossing False Paradise is done. Now it's time to start the finale. Apologies, I need to check something. It's gonna freeze for a second. Special Ops Airships, Septine Gralsritter Merkaba. Merkaba Unit 5. Merkaba Unit 9. Which would be Wazi's. It's so goofy still, these airships. We'll take care of the Aeons for our part, just as planned. You guys be careful up there. Same to you, Heretic Hunter. Oh, pardon me. Thousand Hand Guardian. It may not be your title anymore, but that doesn't mean you can't live up to it every now and then. Haha, I guess not. I gather that you derived your new title from the legendary Thousand Arms herself, Rufina Argent, which I think Rufina Argent was Reese's older sister, and sort of Kevin's pseudo-adopted sister, kind of, and she died, I believe, is in the plot of Trails in the Sky the Third. Spoilers. It is very fitting, Father Kevin. Thanks. Sounds like a long story. It would take about a whole game to explain. Hey, Lloyd. The going's about to get tough, so hang in there, okay? Crossbow being in the spot it is, I wouldn't count on any outside help swooping in to save the day. If I have one piece of advice, it's this. Don't forget the bonds you made along the way. You'll need them. You'll need the bonds I've made. Understood. I'll keep that in mind. May Eidos watch over you, Lloyd. Give Ellie my regards when you come to her aid. Haha, Reese is not a traitor. Right? I'll make sure I do. So Ellie has at least one friend still. What's going on? I'm activating the optical camouflage. For some reason we weren't camouflaged this whole time. It's actually pretty funny to look at how it's blinking on the left. I wonder if that has to do with intended, like, sizing. Like, it's not appropriately scaled to bigger than, like, I don't know, 720p. I don't think... Actually, it could be 720p that it was scaled for. Activating optical camouflage. Keep in mind, the effect itself is not infallible. Our top speed has also been reduced as a drawback. In short, if we tried to fly into restricted airspace at this speed, the Aeon geared towards mobility would catch us in no time. But that's saying that without optical camouflage, they're implying we could outrun the faster Aeon. We wouldn't stand a chance in direct confrontation. That's why we're going to have Merkaba Unit 5 play decoy. So what you're saying is, they'll give us the opening we need to infiltrate. Show us what the Grail's protectors can do then. Is this gonna be... Aw, it's not an animated cutscene, it's like an in-world cutscene. I was really hoping it'd be animated. Not that the animated ones look great, but it looks better than this. I mean, if your optical camouflages causes you to flash, it's not doing a good job. Gordius class Tachybarchism, Aeon type Beta. That's a prototype. Wow. What? Why would you have the cannons shoot out to go forwards instead of angling them forwards at least? God, the seams in the background. The path we chose. And that's where I stop. No, that would be dumb. But the path we chose. Now this is finally the finale. There was only one earlier, now there's two. Oh, they have a... Okay, because there's other floors. We managed to slip through, but from the looks of it, the land of Crossbow is already integrated with the Septarian. If we're not careful, the Aeons will come after us again. So there's a limit to how much we can rely on this airship. Correct. Were we to land, the size of the craft would easily betray our presence to the network of Pleroma grass. Exactly. So getting us on the ground is going to be a hassle. To combat that, I plan to use a blind spot outside the septium veins' reaches. A blind spot? By nature, the septium veins' influence is large enough to span the breadth of the land. However, even among the streams of septium veins, there yet exist small regions free of their purview. I think I get it. So if we land in one of those gaps, we won't be noticed. That's about the size of it. As it so happens, the point we're at now is exactly the kind of spot we've been looking for. Bop, bop, bop. The sandbar on Ursula Road. It's the same area where that cryptid appeared. But how did he figure out that this was a safe zone so quickly? He already knew. Abbas and I already scouted it out beforehand, obviously. Once things in Crossbow went south, we set up a little parlor trick and made our escape. So that's where you were. How very thorough of you. I like Wazi being competent. It's fun. Because most of the SSS is not competent. To be fair, this is the only place like it we know of so far. In the future, we'll have to find other blind spots where we can land. Now then, what's the plan? There's no way for us to get into the city. With that barrier around it. I know that. Still, I think it would be best to get our feet on the ground now. I want to get a feel for what's going on down there with my own eyes. Every little bit counts. We can also use this opportunity to check on the situation at St. Ursula Hospital. Fair enough. Then descend we shall. What troubles you? I know it's a little late to ask, but why exactly are you going so out of your way to help us, Sight? I mean, his job is to watch the Septarian. There's a little something I heard about the dragon that appeared during the Liberal incident. Ah, they aren't allowed to interfere. So, they watch it, but they can't interfere. Why do they watch it? Basically, you holy beasts aren't allowed to interfere with the fates of the Septarians, right? Just so. That is a provision of the covenant we have made. However, as the Septarian of Mirage has long since been lost, my duty has already come to an end. With those shackles removed, I am permitted to act more freely. Lending a modicum of help to the children of man should be within my bounds. So that's how it is. Is that why you helped us during the Warhound case back then? You assumed correctly. I cannot give you my indefinite support, but I can grant you my aid for the time being. Please let him be a controllable character. It would be so fun, even just for 2 fights. You may simply consider this a part of my role as a police dog, if that so pleases you. Haha, sure. We're glad to have you aboard. That's right, the 3 of us are going to have to make do on our own for now. When you're ready to disembark, just let Abbas know, and he'll take us down. The Merkaba also offers a few facilities at your disposal. Feel free to bother the crew for new equipment or supplies, or if you want to use the Orbital Factory. Got it, thanks. I guess I'm gonna have to walk around and talk to all the people. Wazi and Zeit joined the party. And apparently this is a super good S-Craft, if you stack ATS. Wazi learned the S-Craft, Akashic Arm. Sure. Zeit has temporarily joined the party. As he does not use an Enigma 2, you cannot customize his quartz. He does, however, have access to high-level arts. Beware that Zeit also does not possess an S-Craft. What? Why does he not have an S-Craft? Additionally, you will only be able to control Lloyd while aboard the Merkaba. All other members will be on standby within the ship. You will, however, still be able to manage all members' equipment in the camp menu and browse on their behalf at the shop and factory. So, he has 13,000 HP, he's 5 levels up on me. Phoenix Rush, Large Area Burn, Line KO, AoE, debuff to strength. It's an all-effect debuff to strength and defense. Very effective, probably. Haha, they don't even... Oh, he doesn't have any of his stuff equipped. I can't look at his arts. What are his arts? Okay, what am I giving him? I could switch him to an arts-based thing because supposedly his new S-Craft is super good for arts damage. Hasta luego. Interesting. He has... okay. Oh yeah, I need to check for new purchases. Fang Collar. Strength plus question mark, question mark, question mark. Defense plus question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, I love it. Rich fragrance. An expensive shampoo that results in a sleek coat. Hard jerky. A gift from the kids in the city. Very, very chewy. Strength plus 10. Like, these are good. These give him good stats. These are jokey. That's fun. I enjoy it. Hey, what's his equipment? Paradigm Claws. Better than anything I would have given him. Chitin armor. Not worth it. Way too much of a defense drop. Rigid gear. I actually might have better boots. I think for now, I'll stick with that. Do I have my Still Blues? I do. So I can equip both on him. Give him... For now... Oh, I didn't upgrade him fully. What a shame. I can upgrade him now, probably. Nice to meet you. My name is Ventos, and I'm a squire with the church. I'm in charge of managing the ship's equipment. We have plenty of gear and accessories in stock, so let me know if you need anything before starting an operation. They only have you handling all that. They only have 2 people, though. They only have 2 people that need this. Sounds like you guys are pretty strapped for personnel. To be fair, we were out of action for the longest time until Father Wazzy suddenly called on us. It was all we could do to pull together a skeleton crew on such short notice. Well, it was a pretty urgent situation. It's been 2 years since we all worked together. I've really missed bossing all of you around. Right, I should get back to work. Working for Wazzy must be rough. I'll bet he'd have a lot to talk about with the testaments. Okay, do I have new... Not evasion? Don't need it. Not evasion, don't need them. Bye. I need to increase Wazzy's slots. Look at all that Sepith saved up. I'm lacking in wind Sepith. Actually, can I get any good quartz? Yeah, still the same. I haven't gotten any. Ooh, action 3 might. I don't think action 3 is new. Yeah, I'm gonna equip Wazzy for arts for now, because I don't have an arts user, and arts are valuable. Actually, this cannon is heal. Yeah. EP cut. Heaven's Eye. I want to keep that. Action 3 is better than action 2. Mind 3. I kind of want fire for single target, but I don't think I can get... That would be pretty good. What arts does this give me access to? Calamity Claw's nice. Death Spiral's not bad. I don't have a single... I wanted the single target fire, so I need more fire on him. Yeah, I think I need to equip more fire. Quartz. I think EP Cut's not exceptional. It's useful, but it's not exceptional. I could put the EP Cut here and put a fire one here. Okay, that's 5, 6, 4, 2, 2. I'll see what this does. Is it enough? Impassion is recovery, CP regen. No, I need this. I'm looking for the single target one that I think needs like 18. So I need way more fire. By 18, I mean like 15 maybe. I should actually just check how much fire I need. Flare Butterfly. Crimson Ray needs 15. I need 1 more fire. If Pixie leveled up, that would be enough. So I guess I'll stick with this in the hopes... Yeah, Pixie will level up soon enough. So once Pixie levels up, I'll be able to use Crimson Ray. And then I'll have a weak physical attacker, he has better strength and arts. And better defense, but he doesn't have 100% evasion. Oh yeah, I have the EP3 to get the... Okay. Let's talk to her. You're the leader of the special support section, right? Juno. My name's Juno. I'm in charge of the engine room aboard the Merkaba Unit 9. I can also handle synthesizing quartz and tuning your battle orbits here at our Orbital factory. Really? They train squires to do that? Haha. I've always been good with my hands, as it so happens. I enjoy this kind of work. Now that Ouroboros has shown their cards, the church can't overlook their involvement. I hope we can work together to solve this, Detective Bannings. Of course, we're counting on you. What's behind this door? I should probably talk to Wazzy. It's a good thing we found that gap between the Septium Vein's influence on Ursula Road before things went downhill. But from now on, we'll have to manually detect other blind spots around the state if we want to land elsewhere. The Merkaba is short-handed as it is. So we're not exactly in an enviable position. That much is clear. All we can do is take this one step at a time. Finding our comrades, bringing Kia back, even in the most optimistic circumstances, I know it's not going to be easy. That it won't. So for now, we'll just have to do things the hard way. Ah, perfect. Do 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 do. Bwah. Hey, it's Saito. So, we're headed to the St. Ursula Hospital, are we? Right. You needn't mind me. I was merely reminiscing. Speaking of which, I bet she knew did he know St. Ursula? Speaking of which, we have been allies for many moons now. Yet in spite of that, I believe this will be the first time we travel the highway together. You're right. Funny how that works out, huh? Still, there's a first time for everything. We'll be counting on you down there, Zeit. Indeed. I look forward to observing your much vaunted leadership abilities as well. Well, that's pale. Like because of the background, the talk looks like much more see-through than normal. Yeah, if I'm in front of a white here, it basically disappears. So if it's just Abbas here, it's time to go down. Well, have you figured out our next course of action? Yeah. We've decided we're going to land here for now. I have to say though, you and Wazi being in the Gralsritter was a heck of a surprise. It was for the sake of deceiving Archbishop Iralda. He is a detractor of ours due to an inter-congregational conflict. Simply put, the thought process was that no one would expect a Dominion to pose as the head of a street gang. And I guess it worked. Though, come to think of it, you guys did name your group the Testaments. Not to mention all the crusades you went on. I suppose we did. I thought we would be less conspicuous if we were intentionally a crude imitation. I can't deny that. You doubled down so hard on your shtick, no one would have ever guessed it was authentic. Anyway, are we good to land whenever? Yes. The spot we are aiming for has already been pinpointed. You need only say the word. Land the Merkaba. I really don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced. Understood. Confirm your destination. Okay, there's going to be another one in the old mine, is my guess. Or like Moon Temple old mine area. Maybe, my guess is old mine, but maybe not. Then near the boathouse. And then Nox Forest is my guess. My guess is it's going to be where all the cryptids appeared. I have no idea. Shoot. I forgot I had to actually click. My guess is it's going to be where the cryptids appear, but I don't know. I think that would be an interesting, like, clear connection, but why are you not optically camouflaged? Camouflage yourself. Okay, they were camouflaged. The cutscene was just bad. There was no landing stuff, so we jumped down. I take it the others are going to keep monitoring the situation from above? That's the plan. They are more likely to be discovered if they stay at ground level. Now then. In the name of she who dwells above, do I hold this consecrated septium. Teleport. Oh, it's just like what Sister Marble did. I see. You're employing the Graal's thaumaturgy for this. Earth's amber glow. Space's golden glow. By your congruent natures, form anew a sanctuary to protect this chariot from ever-watchful eyes. Hop. What is this? A warp circle capable of stabilizing the gap between within the septium's influence. It is also invisible to anyone who hasn't been aboard the Merkaba. Impressive, no? What a, like, contrived... Oh yeah, if you've been on the Merkaba, you can see it. Like, that's so contrived. Impressive, no? In any case, it should last us for the time being. I'm speechless. I guess it's finally dawning on me that you really are one of the church's knights. After working with you for so long, it's been tough to actually picture you that way. Heh, I'm still the cool, calm, and collected playboy you've always known, Lloyd. But never mind that. What's their next move? Should we try heading to St. Ursula? Yeah, I'd like to confirm the situation there while we're in the area. It also wouldn't hurt to at least scout out the path toward Crossbow City to see what it's like. I am fine with that as well. However, beware that cryptids have begun to appear on the highways due to the pleroma grass. What a distinct way of saying, oh yeah, there's higher level monsters now. It would be wise to tread carefully. Duly noted. Then, let's be off. Merkaba. Examining warp circles will return you to the Merkaba. Speak to Abbess and select a destination on the map. Look at these spoilers. Okay, can I get my cursor visible? Speak to Abbess and select a destination on the map to travel to that warp circle. The number of available warp circles will increase throughout the story. Like, it spoiled a lot. We get a warp circle at St. Ursula, we get a warp circle at Michelin, we get a warp circle by Mines, but not quite Mines, it's partway up Mines, I think. We get a warp circle at the intersection on the west crossbow. Like, come on. Don't spoil the image. Anyway, I'm going to stop in just a second, but nothing new here. This is going to still be something, but I don't know when. I'm going to step out. I'm going to get to the highway, and that's where I'll stop for today. I just want to get to the highway and see one of the monsters. Where are the supposed cryptids? Maybe there's only a few cryptids. And the cryptids are like... Oh, there it is. I'm just gonna see... Ooh, 1 damage. 84. Actually, I'm gonna quit right after this, but I just want to see what happens. No speed mode. A giant arm. And he swings it. And it explodes. 10,526 damage. Alpha Roar only costs 20. That's not gonna hit fast enough, is it? Yeah, it's gonna be useful still. Except he's permanently getting bashed. Maybe if I move over here. He's gonna die. He's never going to be able to physically attack him because he doesn't have enough evasion. He's just going to eat an item. He's just going to continue roaring. Okay. What's he weak to? He's weak to Mirage, then Earth. I'm doing this fight. I'm committed now. I don't know if this would hit, but... He just needs to build up his... CP. Wait. Zeit has 1750 EP. I haven't even checked what arts he has. What arts does he have? Shadow Blade. Okay, these all cost a ton. Shadow Blade, Absorb Health, Large AoE, Last Disaster, Avalon Gate, Fear All, Athless, Holy Breath, Celestial, Large AoE, revive and full heal. Very strong. Analyze, adamantine guard, chrono drive, hollow sphere. Let us Avalon Gate. Kind of overkill, but I'm not gonna Avalon Gate, I'm gonna move. Let's see what happens. Do I get hit, or is it dodgeable? It is dodgeable. So you're gonna Avalon Gate. It should hit for at least a bunch. Do you have debuffs? The Lunar Craze not gonna do anything. He didn't even get time to do anything. Tier all. I mean, this should hit for a ton. Yeah, stop the high speed and actually get a good look at it. He says a bunch of words. He creates an arm. He then charges at the enemy after powering up the arm to make it huge. Like a phantom arm surrounding his arm. A demonic arm, but it hit super hard. Didn't hit nearly as hard as it felt like it should have for a crit, but okay, this should kill. Oh, Pixie has leveled up. Pixie leveling up's really nice, because that gives me the exact amount of fire that I need. Burst? Oh wait, is Zeit restoring? Zeit's regenning everything just as I run in circles. Like very quickly too. Cool. That's actually like, he's basically your, oh, but I can't use art out of battle. I can't tier all out of battle. That's lame. But anywho, that's interesting. It's an interesting S-craft. It hits very hard, but it's productive. The finale has begun. It's time to find everyone. Have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.